Tragedy of tragedies. I'm out of incense. Oh well. Somehow, I will muster the strength and the moral courage of the people who are so upset that some other people have tattooed their pets that they threaten them with death. Am I kidding? What do you think? It had never occurred to me before today that anybody would spend money having their dog or their cat tattooed. That seems absurd to me. I mean, it's so absurd, it just never would have occurred to me that anybody would think to do that. But of course they have. Of course they have. There are probably tattoo artists out there who specialize in tattooing pets. Whatever. You know, of course, I stumbled on this today on Twitter. And, of course, I read through the comments, knowing full well that there would be people just making absurd statements. I mean, absurdly hyperbolic statements in the comments about what monsters the people that have their pets tattooed are, how all humans are garbage because some humans have done this to their pets. Big sigh. Here, let's look at this one. I mean, this is not a particularly egregious example. I just went to Twitter and I typed in pet tattoos, and this is one of the first tweets that came up. Melanie Gelmanx writes, just found out that people actually go around getting their pets tattooed, and I feel like I might be sick. If you are a tattooist/pet owner who would do that to a helpless animal who has no idea what that pain is from/for, you are disgusting and deserve this. And we have Bart Simpson being electrocuted in the electric chair. Maybe there's a meme about this or something, but multiple people that I saw on Twitter objecting to people getting their pets tattooed invoked the image of the pet owner being electrocuted to death in the electric chair. If you know something about why that particular punishment for these awful pet owners is going around or in people's heads, let me know. But I'm not going to, think about a Paul Joseph Watson video. I mean, if I'm going to do a Paul Joseph Watson video, I'd put a map up on the wall there, get the camera in close, and then I would go to Twitter and I would pick out all of the most absurd tweets of people threatening to murder other human beings because they had their pets tattooed. And then I would read it in a very smug, sanctimonious voice and then speed that up so that it's high-pitched. It sounds like an angry chipmunk. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ask you to consider this. Somebody who puts money, serious money, into having a design permanently etched, carved, whatever, inked onto their pet's skin, does this person value their pet more or less than most people? Do they think of this pet as being integral to their person, or are they just blasé and really casual about their connection to this animal? I would think that it would be the former. I think that the people who bother to get their pets tattooed are more invested in their pets, think more highly of their pets, value their pets more than average pet owners. Why is that not right? Why is that a bad thing to think? Think about this. From a pet's perspective, if you're going to get a cat tattooed, one, it's going to be one of those hairless cats, which you're not going to pick up at the pound for $60. Those are big dollar items, those cats. So suppose you get your hairless cat tattooed. A cat's not going to sit in the tattoo artist's chair and just take it. You're going to have to anesthetize that cat. That cat is going to be out. So the cat is unconscious. It gets tattooed. It wakes up a little bit later, maybe feels a little bit sick from the anesthesia. I know every time I've had general anesthesia, I wake up feeling sick. And the cat is going to feel some itching, some discomfort from the tattoo as it heals. But aside from that, from the cat's perspective, what's the difference between going to a tattoo parlor, getting anesthetized and being tattooed, or going to the vet, being put under and getting spayed or neutered, and waking up with part of the body shaved and it's stitched up and itchy and hurts? What's the difference from the cat's perspective? Now, is there anybody out there that says that a pet owner who has their pet spayed or neutered is irresponsible and deserves to be murdered or executed in the electric chair? I mean, sure. I mean, pick any absurd position and somebody takes it, okay? And there are numerous absurd positions that are popular to take. But seriously, do you really think that it's monstrous to have your pet spayed or neutered? Because from the pet's perspective, it's not much different than going and getting a tattoo. Most of the animal suffering that takes place in this world happens because of either neglect or because we like to eat animals and we like the meat to be cheap. So we get meat raised under conditions that take advantages of the economy of scale, which just is misery. You know, it is automated misery for animals. Go to a third world country, or whatever you want to call it, global south, developing, whatever. Go to a poor country and look at all the dogs on the streets. Dogs limping, dogs with missing limbs, dogs with enormous nipples so distended and hanging down from nursing litter after litter after litter that they almost drag the ground. And then look at a pet that sleeps in a house, that has regular meals, it is groomed, it is taken to the vet, you know, it's got all of its needs taken care of, and it's tattooed. Which animal is suffering? Which animal got the short end of the stick? Which animal won the frickin' lottery? It's the animal with the tattoo. It's the animal that is such a part of a person's life that they want to put their own resources into this animal to make it even more special, even more distinctive. You know, they want this pet to be more their pet. This is somebody who loves the animal, is taking care of the animal. And so they have it tattooed. You know, some people have their dogs' tails cut off. Some people have their dogs' ears cut up and stuck into molds, you know, so they take a particular shape. And don't get me started on what people do to horses to make them look pretty. People tattooing their pets, personally, I think it's kind of ridiculous, although some of the images I've seen are pretty cool, although the coolest ones I think are photoshopped. But in terms of people mistreating animals, which makes me angry, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that animals are inanimate objects or that they don't deserve any sort of consideration. I'm just saying that the animals that are getting tattooed are also the animals who are getting lots and lots of care and attention from the humans with whom they live. But, you know, if you want to be mad about something, if you want to get up on your high horse and say that people who do something you don't agree with, you don't approve of, are so wicked, so contemptible that they deserve to be murdered, and you want to see them suffer and die, that's nuts. That is nuts. And you know what? You know, I mean, I know, we all know, there are things that push our buttons that will get us mad. And we know where to find evidence of those things. We know where on the internet to go to see the images, to read the words that will push our buttons and make us furious. And some of us stumble upon these things, and some of us seek them out because we love that feeling of being so righteously angry that we would be justified in murder and torture and humiliation. You know, if it reliably fuels murder fantasies, then really it's just porn. It's just porn that you view to get yourself into a certain physiological state, a state that you enjoy. It is no different than masturbating to porn, except you think that you're righteous in doing it and you want to show off how you masturbate to porn. So you masturbate to porn on Twitter. Would you do that? I mean, sure, some of you would. But the people who are talking about how they want to murder people who would have their pets tattooed, do you take your junk out on Twitter? Do you show it to everybody? Do you take videos of yourself jacking off, you know, to pornography and put it online? Because to me, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. But you're not righteous. You're not a hero. You're not a saint. You're just jerking off on camera or on Twitter, you know? All right.